Don't go there.
Drink a lot of water?
Not a lot. I don't drink a lot.
Why not?
I don't know. I just.
You don't like it?
Nah, I ain't got no problem with
What you like, juice?
soda.
Soda? Okay.
But my doctor told me stop drinking soda.
You gotta stop drinking soda. I can tell you drink soda. You know how I know?
Ah,
I see in your skin.
get the heck out of here.
Swear to God. I cut your hair before. Yep. Too much soda. You gotta drink water.
What did skin got to do with the soda?
Your skin dry out.
Oh, I get it.
You got eczema?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. My daughter got eczema. That's how I know. So, what happens with eczema, you need a lot of water. You need a lot of,
Moisturizer?
nah, but it starts internally.
Yeah.
So, it's your diet. Vegetables, fruit, water.
Oh, so you gotta eat a lot of vegetables too?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Yes, that's what clean you up.
I eat a lot of fruit.
Yeah, right.
I do.
Yes, it's good
Yeah,
for fruit.
with them little fruit.
Nah, I eat fruit. Actual fruit.
Actual fruit.
Apples, oranges, bananas.
And man, soda. What kind of soda you drink?
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew? You look like it.
Get out of here, man.
For real, that shit tear you up, man.
I slowed down though.
That's what you don't drink Pepsi?
I used to drink Pepsi. Yeah.
Ugh. It tastes good. Nah, it tastes good, but that shit fuck you up, man.
Yeah, that's what the lady said.
I don't drink no juice.
I ain't know it could affect with your blood pressure.
All that.
Yeah.
It's just sugar.
She was saying that. She was like, that could affect your blood pressure and everything.
Yeah, bro, you get diabetes. Now, I know this sounds crazy because I'm a fat nigga and I'm giving you health advice.
That don't mean
No,
nothing.
I don't believe.
No, I'm a healthy fat nigga though. I don't drink no juice. I don't drink soda. The only time I get soda, like, is if, let's say I get a slice of pizza every once in a while. Or I might like a root beer or some shit. But just with the pizza. But I don't, like in my house, I don't buy none of that stuff.
So you don't drink no like lemonade,
water.
none of that?
If I drink lemonade, like if I go like to a cookout, somebody got it, I'll do it.
What about Kiva? What about
She
Kiva?
she drink water.
She do a lot.
I can tell.
She don't drink nothing but water.
I don't like, I'll be trying to drink soda and I'll take like,
She drink soda maybe, what, once in a while.
I don't even
maybe
finish a
once
whole
a
can.
month, yeah.
Yeah. That's how I am, I'm telling you. That's how you stay young. That's how I can tell. You look old and she look young.
Nah, they usually say both of us don't believe our age. It's usually both of us.
They both of y'all young?
Yeah.
Now you ain't aged a lot, but you look older from when I met
So
you.
I'm Asian.
Puerto Rican, you Asian.
I'm married there, yo. For real, they be like, you Puerto Rican? I'm with the Pakistanis. Where you from? You from?
Yeah, you Pakistani?
Yeah.
Yo, that picture, I was gonna clown you so bad. I still might.
Right.
That picture you put up with the hood on.
what picture you put on Facebook?
Yeah.
I'm about to look right now.
With the hood, right? Yo, I seen that and I sent it to Karan. Cause I was trying to think what fucking cartoon character you look like. What Marvel character you look like. You look like one of them superhero niggas. I can't remember which one it was, man. I think it was hold on. I'm gonna find it. Cause it was damn. You watch Game of Thrones?
No.
Oh, see, you ain't gonna know. But
That's a guy from Game of Thrones?
yeah, there's a guy from Game of Thrones that you named Jakar, Nahar and Jakar, some shit like that.
And what he do? CJ?
Oh, this one?
He's the man of many faces.
CJ.
This one?
This
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say something because you always say
bro,
something.
I'm still gonna say
I was
something.
like, man,
I just couldn't remember.
I was looking for you. I was like, I know CJ gonna say, he always say something smart.
Bro, the only reason I didn't get you was because I could not remember
I said,
which guy it was that you look like.
I was waiting for him to
I'm
respond,
gonna
right? And I said, watch, when he posts something, I'm gonna get him.
It ain't no way you can get me though.
Yes, it is.
Look, this is the guy we get
Look,
me.
wait, hold up.
And then this dude. Who is this dude in Marvel? He's a Moon somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, look, because I should keep it this. Hold on, I'm going to show you because I was like, I'm going to put this on your wall one day. I'm like, CJ keep messing with me.
Oh, that guy, the mean that look like me?
Yeah, you seen it?
Yeah.
I was like, yo,
Look like me.
like BJ. Not CJ, but BJ.
Yo, they was getting me. A few years ago, they got me with it was some dude that cut hair, and he was cutting the hair. He pushed the guy's hairline all the way back like that, and it said it looked like me. And then remember when he had the Black Panther? Remember when Black Panther came out and everybody was going to the movie?
Like,
yeah.
That's like you, man.
Yeah, I posted that. Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody was saying that was me.
Bruh, somebody sent it to me. I was like,
It said it was me, right?
CJ.
Yeah, that's me, nigga. That is me.
I was like, this is brother BJ.
Yeah, that's me when I get feeling sexy. Y'all crazy.
I was like, this joker a clown, man. And you always come over there and be like, nah, man, that's haram. You gotta be the Salafi dude.
Nah, it is.
On the post.
You be talking about mad haram stuff.
Nah, you be doing that to like stir the pot.
Nah, because they be thinking everything haram.
I know.
You friends with mad Salafis. So.
And then especially like this Christmas stuff, man.
Y'all don't celebrate Christmas?
Nah, I don't celebrate Christmas.
Why not?
Nah.
Some Muslims do.
Yeah, I know. I ain't listen, man. I'm not saying nothing about that.
You ain't say nothing about it.
Why not? Cause
What's the ruling? You the imam.
What the
ruling on Christmas?
I don't celebrate it.
No, what's the
ruling.
ruling? What's the Hanafi ruling?
About Christmas? They don't got no ruling pertaining to Christmas.
Is this haram?
Nah, it's something that
What?
everything is in haram.
What is it then?
Everything is halal until it's proven haram, or it's like makruh. That's why we got the category like makruh and stuff like that.
But what? So what? What?
Christmas fall under something.
Yeah. What does it fall under?
I don't know. I never looked at it.
All right. So what actually is celebrating? What constitutes celebration?
In America,
Just just period. What's the definition of celebration?
like like partying.
Okay. Is partying haram?
Nah, partying not.
Can partying be haram?
Yeah, elements of that.
Like what?
Like drinking, smoking. Like it could lead to illicit sex, stuff like that. But partying itself is not haram because people do celebrate. We celebrate to eat.
Okay.
So
it's gift giving haram.
Nah, that's absolutely not haram because there's many hadith where the Prophet encourages us to exchange gifts.
Okay, but there's only 2 Eids, and the Prophet said we only celebrate the 2 Eids.
Right.
So are you allowed to celebrate stuff on other days?
Yeah, you could do that.
He said 2 Eids.
Nah, man, you bugging.
I'm just telling you what they say.
Yeah. Nah, you could celebrate because culture also takes a place in there too.
Nah, no culture.
Nah, that's you being crazy.
No, it's on that. All right, you know Sarah, right? So the Prophet gave gifts on.
Yeah, he gave a lot of gifts between his
It
wives.
wasn't on the Eids.
Yeah, that was outside of the Eid. He gave Aisha a necklace. He gave some of his other wives gifts too. He gave what's her name? The lady that used to take care was a wet nurse, and she wasn't even Muslim. He gave her Halima. He gave her like camels and stuff to take back. She wasn't Muslim at that time. That was him showing his thanks to her for raising him as a child.
So then, if he did those things, then why can't somebody that's a Muslim give or receive a gift from somebody on Christmas?
You can't receive a gift.
Look, right?
Nah, because they're saying his actions is judged by attention. Therefore, everyone should get that which they intended. Most of the non-Muslims, they know. They say, listen, I know you don't celebrate Christmas. Here's a gift for you and your family. They don't. Their intent isn't to give it to you with Christmas.
All right. So what if? But there's Muslims that still do that. They still got Christmas trees. They still give gifts.
I wouldn't put up the Christmas tree though.
I wouldn't do none of that stuff. I'm just saying for those people. All right, because every year we'll be on social media, and then you'll see all the Muslims that come and then they'll ruin Christmas for all the non-Muslims. Well, not ruin it, but
this is the thing I got. The thing about that is like, all right. The issue I take with that is that the non-Muslims never say nothing about Ramadan. They always encourage us. Some of them even I had people that work at my job that would fast with you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when it comes to their holidays, we want to be insulting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we want to talk about it. We want to put all this information about
Mm-hmm.
how it's wrong. What if it was the other way around? What if they was trying to prove? Because they do got stuff that say that we worship a moon god and stuff like that.
No, worship moon god?
No, they got these pamphlets and stuff like that say that.
Mm-hmm.
So what if during Ramadan, it was the other way around and they were saying those things?
Mm-hmm.
When Allah tells us what in the Quran, like don't insult their gods, well, how would you like for them to insult Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's a command.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I'm just saying. So, because every year, then there's gonna be.
I know that all around, like this is haram, this is haram.
Mm-hmm.
Muslim church. The thing I got with that, right, and I was saying to keep it, like every year, look, this is the thing with that. They'll say Christmas is haram all day. They want to accept gifts, but they'll accept that Christmas bonus. Everybody I know would take that Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
And look, they'll try to prove like, nah, it's not Christmas. It's the end of the year bonus.
But it is though.
But they give you it on
So
Christmas.
they should give it back.
If you being that technical.
You get Christmas bonus?
Something like it, and yes, I take it.
You take it?
Yes,
do,
I
all right.
would
Do you
always
eat
do it.
do you go to the Christmas party?
They don't have a Christmas party.
They do at my job. But I don't
They do a holiday meal.
Yeah.
They call it a holiday
Do you
meal.
eat it?
I sure do. I go get
It's
some
haram.
Listen,
How is it?
Because it's Christmas.
It's food.
All right. So do you trick or treat?
No.
Do you trick or treat candy?
If it's a candy basket at my job,
If it's that deal after Halloween, if it's the deal, we'll go get them candy.
So all right. So why not take your kids trick or treating then?
Because even the concept of that is weird.
Well, I understand that it's not safe to do, but all right. So now, let's say when nowadays, right? They have the police. They come and they set up in the park, and they have like the safe Halloween trick or treat.
Trunk or treat. Yeah.
Trunk or treat.
Yeah, but that's
They don't trunk or treat.
No, I'm not doing it anyway.
All right. So then why you eating Christmas candy and cake and stuff?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
What's the difference?
Cause I don't. That's how.
You eat the little candy canes and stuff, right? Them should be rocking.
Right.
Yeah, I eat the candy.
Yeah, you can eat. You can go to trunk or treat.
No, man.
I think there's a little bit of a difference between actively participating in something and then just.
Well, I agree.
Oh, let me get
Yeah,
this
like
candy bar.
trunk or treat, you could go there and actually.
What's the difference? It's celebrating, right?
What?
Are you celebrating it because you ate a candy cane?
No.
No, if you go to the trunk or treat,
That's what I'm saying. That's different. 'cause
that's
now
celebrating.
You're like celebrating. You're actively celebrating.
Yeah. So, what's the difference between that? Like, that's what I said. What's the definition of celebrating?
And that's what I'm saying. It's so. I mean, depending on who you ask, you will give a different definition every
Yeah,
time.
because somebody like that's not
That's
celebrating.
not celebrating.
technically.
Okay.
I just ate some
If
food.
there's
That
something
ain't
you know
celebrating. You
So-
Look, man, the reality is, ain't nobody doing no ritualistic stuff.
Well, all right. Here's the drawback. Now, when I first became Muslim, right, and I was die hard, like, oh, I ain't doing it. And I still don't, for the record. I don't do Christmas trees or Halloween, none of that stuff. But when I don't, it's not a big deal now to me like it was then. Because back then, when I first took my Shahada, I wanted to be clearly distinct that we don't do none of that stuff, right? So
That's how I was too.
yeah. So so when we was studying the origins of the paganism behind the tree, but then here's the thing now. So if a person puts up a Christmas tree now, it's got pagan roots and stuff in it, but nobody's praying to the tree then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not doing it in that. So
That's why I said the ritualistic parts behind it is gone.
yeah.
There's nobody doing like
Because
burning.
you said actions are by intention.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I mean. Not you said. That's
Yeah, because you be like,
mentioned
listen, man, I'm just trying to get some candy.
Yeah. So somebody might. So here was, I never forget, one of my better friends when I first became Muslim. Now, hopefully you don't see this, right? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the story. So this is in 1999, right? So I became Muslim, and most of my hood friends was already Muslim, right? And so that was my first Ramadan, and we was fasting together and stuff. And around that time, Ramadan was around Christmas. It was that same month. And so I never forget, we was out and him and his baby mom, they were still buying Christmas gifts and stuff for his son. And I was like, yo, what you doing? Like, we Muslim. And he was like, nah, man, I'm not going to take Christmas away from my kid. Like, I grew up with a Christmas. I'm not going to, like, he's still Muslim.
He was making a transition?
Mm-mm.
Oh, all right.
He been Muslim way longer than me.
Oh, okay.
But now, mind you, at the time, his baby mom was Muslim now. But at the time, she wasn't Muslim. But back then, he was like, nah, well, she still has Christmas at her house. And I was like, nah, I would distinctly not let my kids do that. And he said, how am I going to do that? Because she lives over there. I said, then don't participate. And he was like, nah. But this is his thing. His thing was, I'm not going to take that from him when he don't know nothing. Like, I'm still going to teach it. So then he hit me with the whole, you know, the rule in fiqh where that a kid isn't mukallaf.
Mukallaf, I was about to say.
Yeah. So now at the time I didn't know no mukallaf or none of that.
Yeah, right.
Now at the same time, this is the same dude who, even though he taught me some things, I didn't personally agree with him at the time. But we used to fast. Never get this. We fasting, and at the time I was still trying to learn how to make salat. Right. So we get done fasting. I'm at this nigga house, and back then it was PlayStation, the first PlayStation, right? Everybody sitting around playing PlayStation when they broke the fast. And these niggas just drinking 40s. So I'm like, what are you doing? And niggas like, fast over. You know, we do what you want.
The whole point of the fast.
I mean, you know.
The whole point of the fast is to teach you to abstain from that which is haram.
Yeah, but
stuff like that.
I guess that back then the logic was, and I'm sure he doesn't do that now.
No, it's people like that. I know personally that people that do that.
Yeah, you know, but
that as soon as the fast over, that hit that cigarette. Fast as that.
Well, all right. So in that regard, if somebody has an addiction, you expect them to just
see? That's the thing. This is the thing about our time, right? Is that me personally, I haven't read anything in the fiqh that actually deals with addiction. Mm-hmm. And this is like, they might say it's not a modern phenomenon, but it actually is.
It is.
So I haven't come across a ruling with dealing with addiction. So this is something that needs to be addressed in our time, which it seems like it's just keep getting glossed over when you can't actually find a simple ruling. Because most people be like, man, it's haram. They'll be trying to take them out of the fold of Islam. Like, man, and you be like, yo, do you understand how addiction works?
Yeah.
Like that overrides a person's logic sometimes because they trying to feed. They ain't worried about salat. They know that they gotta pray. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I work in the city, right? Mm-hmm. Dudes that I know, they get high. Mm-hmm. And they'll tell me like, yo, I know I gotta pray. Mm-hmm. And they get high. And they'll be like, man, they'll say stuff for Allah. May Allah forgive me. But this is a condition I'm dealing with.
I knew a brother years ago that I used to work with, one of the barbers I worked with, he was Muslim. And he was on dope. Now I ain't gonna say he controlled it, but he was a functioning addict, right? And so when Ramadan would come around, he would still fast, but I remember every day, right in the middle of the day, he would stop, break his fast, and eat something, and then go back to fast. And I was like, how do you do that? That's not, you validated fast, right? But the thing with him, the dope would fuck his stomach up. So his thing was like, I have to eat something, or I'm gonna be throwing up and stuff. So I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. Like when I did the thing with Suhaib Webb that time, I was trying to ask him. He was probably the only one that
Suhaib Webb, the good thing about him is that he knows the plight of
he knows
the social woes.
Yeah.
So
but here's the thing. Even with him, he said, like, because when I asked him about the divorce things, like what does a Muslim woman do that she marries she was married to a non-Muslim, or they're both non-Muslim, and then she takes a shahada. Does the divorce automatically, like, after?
I thought it's some time you have.
It is some time, but with his thing was, he says in that case, she's got to do the best she can, because what's she going to do? Like, what if she depends on her husband? Like, that's not, you can't just take that rule and throw it on him. And if we don't have Islamic judicial systems and stuff, the best thing she can do is just do the best she can. And so basically, when I kept asking her stuff, all the answer was like, "Look, man, fear Allah, do the best you can. And I'm not going to put." And now, back 7-8 years ago, when I was on that super Ash'ari Maliki role guy, I still am, but I was like, nah, that ain't good enough. You got to raise yourself to the level. But the thing is, for the common person, it's not studying the way we study.
All right, it's different as you become Muslim and then you marry. But these two people that was married together, one accepted Islam, you don't think it's some still type of emotional attachment there?
Yeah, definitely. Well, this happened with a friend of mine. Somebody I know had they's married, and then they took their shahada. They probably was already going through issues with their husband, but they took their shahada, and then that just accelerated it because the guy hated Islam because of Islam, and so they was already about to start their divorce and stuff, and I was telling them, I said, I don't really know the rule, but you probably, like, after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I know it's some time.
Yeah, it's like an interperiod.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's what it is.
And, but what I did, I asked Wade Webb about it. But then he said, look, if the woman is financially dependent on the husband, you can't just tell them that that's over. You know what I'm saying? Because,
but then you got people that would jump on him and say, well, where are you getting this information from? You giving a fatwa? Or you just, they would ask him that. They would antagonize him, yeah.
Well, he is. The reason why I asked him, because he's qualified to give fatwa. He's actually a mufti. Well,
I'm not disagreeing with that, but you know the people we dealing with.
But so that goes to the bottom line of all of it. Niggas is gonna do what they want because there's no judicial system.
Yeah, it don't matter. Even if me and you sit here and punch out, give out so many fake rulers. The bottom line is, because we don't have that established, jokers gonna do what they want.
But here's the thing though. Most Muslims, I think, I think most of us have the intention to do the right thing and want to do the right stuff. It's just, you're going to come to a point where you bump into something that you're actually struggling with, and now that's when people start either bending the rule or they just say, you know what, something I do, I'm struggling with it, and I ask Allah for forgiveness.
But see, that's the thing. It's two types of sinner. There's one that sins against himself, and there's one that sins against others. The addict, he's not harming nobody but himself. So that's something he would have to deal with Allah subhanahu. He could do that. She's right, he could do that.
Until he starts stealing.
Yeah. But the dealer is the one who's like harming others. Yeah. So he's...
Well, alright. Well, let's say if the dealer don't have no other way to make income.
That's still, because that's when they tell you, you should rely on Allah. Because this guy I know, right, he had 3 brothers. Two of his brothers was trying to get him to get involved with some haram stuff. And the other one said, no, I'm not doing none of that. I'm going to do it just how I put my trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That man's business is way successful than the other 2. Yeah. The other 2 fell off, and he did. Because he didn't compromise for that sake. That's the thing. Well, I get what you're saying, like, considering our conditions as African Americans, it's kind of different.
Well, all right, but so if you go back and if you look at the history of most of the Black Muslim movements in our country, have had some criminal element in it.
Not initially.
It doesn't matter. Everybody, like, that's the nature of capitalism. So if you look at every group in this country, whether it's the Jews, the Amish, the Italians got the mafia, the Koreans got a mafia, everybody got a criminal element. So then you look at the Nation of Islam, they had the food of Islam was roughing niggas up.
That's what I'm about to say. That's the Muslims.
That's always existed. Yeah. So but my question is, now, mind you, I'm not saying that it's okay, it's not okay, but that always happens. Like, that literally always happens. So now, you know that we're not supposed to accept no haram money and stuff that we do, right? But I'm not saying because the law knows best. Like, the law makes things
right.
But my thing is,
I'm gonna give you a scenario.
But no, here's my point. So if you take a good example, right? I remember when the brother Luke Mine, Kenny Gamble, in Philly, right? Now, he revitalized that whole area in Philly. Did the home ownership, built mansions, did all kind of stuff for the Muslims there, black Muslims. And they were getting on him because he had a nightclub in Atlantic City. Remember he had TSOP open?
Yeah, that was his?
That was his.
Oh, all right.
And because some of his, he made his fortune in the music business. The music, that's haram. But look at all the benefit. And I'm not saying that
those places still exist.
Yeah, the mess is
still thriving.
Yeah. Now I'm not saying that he did it with all haram money, but here's my point. Where do you get any halal money from in America?
Yeah.
That's my point. There's no way to not touch. Like,
you're going to get involved with some Reba.
Yeah.
You're going to get involved with something. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to, the Reba argument, that's a whole other conversation. But
no, I'm saying you are going to get involved with something here where it's some type of, whether it's your job, because you got to also look at, like, where they get their monies from. You know what I mean? Where are they getting their monies from?
Yeah. So now that's not your intention, but I remember.
That's what I was gonna ask you. So how is it? So say, like a dude give you money. Say hypothetically, a dude gives you money.
Mm-hmm.
He's a drug dealer. You don't know he's a drug dealer, but he gives you the money. Like, listen.
To start something up.
Yeah, he said this is just $500.
Yeah.
Is it still categorized as haram? Because you don't know what he. I don't know what he did.
Yeah.
He just seen you doing something. He's struggling. And he like, look, here goes some money.
I remember, I told you a story back in the day when Imam Kamal was here, right? When he first came to America, I was at the pizza place, down the street that Muslims on, right? So I'm there, and they introduced me to him. They said, come meet Brother Yasser. So I sit down, I eat pizza with him, and they telling him that I was a barber. So he said, brother, do you don't do the cutting of beards, do you? And I said, I absolutely do. She said, no, this is haram. You don't do that. And I said, it's not haram. Well, what are you talking about? He's like, no, it is haram. But he's thinking because he's the imam. And I wasn't trying to argue with him. But I'm like, you're not right what you're saying. So he's like, you don't cut the not the same. I said, bro, if somebody sits down in my chair, Muslim or non-Muslim, and asks me to cut their beard off, how is that my fault? I'm just doing my job. Or even to trim their beard. But, and I mean, when I first watched Shahada, there was a brother.
They ain't tell you like the fish? Like if there's a fish and then you can cut it, right? It's not supposed to go.
He didn't say that. I mean, I know that I do too, but here's my thing. If somebody want, like, what I know of in fiqh is that at least in the Maliki school, it's a sunnah. It's not.
Yeah,
wajib.
right.
You know what I mean?
What you saying?
So what different? I'm not gonna say what you shouldn't follow the sunnah because you should. But my point is, if you got a job and you choose to cut it off, how is that my fault? How's that my fault?
I think sometimes in that they would consider that like based on your iman. Like if your iman is that strong, you're like, listen, I'm not compromising any of my principles.
But see, here's the thing. That's an issue in Tasawwuf and in Tazkiyah. Like that's it. It's saying like
that's what I'm saying.
That's not a ruling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know. So I'm like I know it.
Remember you say this all the time. A lot of people don't know fiqh.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people don't know like Thanksgiving, birthdays and stuff like that. That's categorized in fiqh as mubah. Mubah is neutral. Meaning there's nothing explicitly.
Okay, so back to the original point. Why you don't do Muslim Christmas?
I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not being associated with something that's associated with Christianity like that.
No, I agree. I'm not either. I'm just saying.
No, but I'm saying for in fiqh wise, it's a category and I know that's known as mubah. It's nothing explicitly in the text. That's what I'm about to say. It's nothing explicitly in the text saying you can do it. There's nothing explicitly saying that you can't. It's a neutral. Some people would say that's a gray area. So why would you even? They categorize it like, that's doubtful. So why don't even indulge in the doubtful matters? Just stay away from it. But it's not haram. It's not saying that you can't do it. Then you emulating the kafir. That's next.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you emulating the Kafir. In what content?
Is that haram?
What, emulating the Kafir?
If you did emulate a Kafir, is it haram? Fiqh-wise. That's always my argument.
I'm trying to think.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if me dressing this way, right? Because somebody told me that before. Oh, you still dressed like the kuffar. All right. If that's listen. If that's truly what I'm doing, is imitating the kuffar haram? If I don't believe what the kuffar believe, because as far as I know,
asking
like what takes you out of Islam is your belief.
That's like asking Africans why they still wear their traditional garments, or the European people when they had the fezes and.
No, they're all off the minhaj.
Nah, man, you can't do it. No, I'm just saying, like, you taking away cultural appearances now.
No, brother, it's one way.
Nah, I'm not with that stuff. You could choose to dress like that, choose not. But we know Allah don't look at, you know that narrative, Allah don't look at your outer appearance, He look at the heart. And
yeah. And I know that.
Why is that so important with people?
All right, I'm going to tell you why. The same reason why when I told you when I first took my shahada, and it was a really big deal for me to understand the roots of the Christmas tree and Santa Claus. Right? Now when I'm older, what the fuck doesn't matter? It don't matter at all.
That's how I am.
Yeah, but back then, I spent hours studying that stuff, right? Because when you become a Muslim, you want to validate your Islam by being as Muslim as you possibly can. So being a Muslim, all right, of course, your shahada, your prayer, you know.
Man, listen. Man.
Listen.
No, I want to say it.
Hold on. But you get to a point where you're like, I need to look like a Muslim, I need to dress like a Muslim, I need to sound like a Muslim, because that makes you. And I'm gonna show you why I felt that way. Because my whole family is Christian. Well, not really Christian.
So you had to show them?
They're default Christian. Mm-hmm. But in the beginning, now I don't know if y'all got this, but when I first took Shahada, my family would make jokes and shit, and they would, you know, they would
ask you.
Yo, every Thanksgiving. Well, in the beginning, I used to come to Thanksgiving. I used to go to Christmas, nothing. Over years, once I got confident in my deen, then I started doing it. But when I would be around them, they make jokes like, "Oh, don't eat that man's pork in it." Like, you would literally be about to put the food in your mouth. And they're like, "Oh, it's pork in that macaroni and cheese, don't eat it." And you'd be like, "Motherfucker, come on, man. It's not even funny." Right? But they would do that.
Really?
Or,
y'all can't have pictures on your wall.
Well, here's the thing. In the beginning, I was the guy, like, I can't even bring in here because of pictures. Yeah, I used to do that dumb shit. And then, it wasn't until, I remember I was thinking, when I started learning fiqh, and then it was Imam Anwar Muhammad, or was it Anis? No, it was Anwar. It was Imam Anwar. We was in the fiqh class of Cuba Masjid, and he said that somebody asked him that question, and he says no. He said that's a story in Hadith, and he said the reason why you shouldn't pray in a room with pictures is because it's distracting. And he said, but you got to remember back then the people were idol worshippers. He was taking the people. Yeah, that's what he's saying. He said the Prophet ﷺ was moving people from idolatry into Islam. So it wasn't good, like, for the pictures, because, you know, he even gave his example. He said, remember the story of Nuh with the calf? He said, yo, as soon as you turn your back, you come back, the people be worshiping the calf. Like, that's why. So everybody said, well, what about the hadith with the angels don't enter a room?
That's the angels.
But no, but this what he got him, right? He said, well, is it a condition that the angels hear your prayer? I'll never forget he said that. He said, because everybody's like, yo, you got the angels to write down all your deeds. So what if you pray in a room with pictures and the angels don't come in and the law doesn't get your prayers? He said, does the law need the angels to hear your prayers? Mm-hmm. That's just their job. The law knows whether you prayed or not. So
yeah, that's the same thing about God. Remember the Prophet said that I speak to beings that you don't know, because he brought him some garlic, and he said, why you didn't eat the garlic? Was it bad? And he said, no, but I speak to beings that you don't, and it's offensive to them. Mm-hmm. But he didn't say garlic was haram, but somebody would take it as haram.
Mm-hmm.
He's like just the raw smell of garlic. But cooked garlic, you get what I'm saying? It's like, it's not haram.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't say.
It's still as strong as raw garlic. What are you talking about?
No, people cook it and then it kind of like.
It does not know out if you eat it.
It don't?
No, not really.
No,
No, raw garlic is stronger.
It is stronger,
It's stronger,
but I'm
yeah.
saying garlic is
No, garlic's garlic either way.
But it's a story, right? With Hazrat Ali, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know when they was conquering Kufa, I mean, the conquest, they conquered Kufa, right? Now, Kufa was Persians, they was pagans, and Zoroastrians that worshiped the sun god, right? They had a holiday every year. It was called Nowruz, right? And they would celebrate. And they, Ali's the Caliph at that time. They brought him some dishes and some stuff they made as like ice cream.
Yeah.
And he said, will you have some? Ali ate some. And he said, may they have Nowruz every year. Because he liked the ice cream so much. But it's like, here you have Ali, Quran, the Caliph, not doing what we do now. If they just let them, you know what I mean? If that's their thing, let them have their thing. Same thing, the story about when remember when Omar came in and they was in there dancing with the spears, the Habashi people? And he got upset. And he was like, that, you know, let them enjoy
Tell
it.
the story. I know it then.
I think it was the Prophet Aisha was, radiallahu anha, was in the masjid. And the Habashi people, they was in there like doing a little celebration dance for the Prophet with the spears and stuff. And then Umar came in and was like, what is this? Like, what are y'all doing? Like that. And the Prophet corrected him and was like, you know, like that's what they do. So just leave them alone, like they little festivities. Like, and that's the part that pissed me off because y'all overlook other things. And y'all only implement certain rulings and not.
So in that narration, did they have music?
I don't remember they had.
Remember they did what?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, the drums.
Yeah,
and stuff.
so that's what I'm saying. Music is haram.
But that was their culture. No, because Imam Ghazali said, he said that if music was haram, then why do we listen to like the birds and why the birds sing? He gave that argument. It's like, it's people that's actually infatuated with listening to the noises of birds. Because birds do give off a melodious sound that can be captivated.
Hold on. It's melodic.
No, it ain't.
It's melodic.
Melodious.
I wasn't going to correct you, but yeah, you ain't getting that one. Melodious.
Melodious. Let's check that.
Bruh, no, look at, bruh, there's no such thing as
melodic.
Melodious.
You looking it up? Look it up, please.
There is a thing called melodious.
But no,
thank you.
No,
man.
but that's not.
This is the second time you did that.
No, but that's for
what's
this
melodious
sentence is melodic.
It is of producing or having a pleasant tune.
No, but no. I'm not listen. I'm not saying that the word doesn't exist. I'm saying you use it wrong.
He does wrong.
What did I say? What did I say?
You said melodious.
The birds give off a melodious.
They give off melodious. It's melodic.
Yeah.
No, it's melodious.
No.
She just proved it.
No.
Then I said modernity last time, and you was like, that ain't a word. And then she proved it again.
What?
Modernity.
When did I do that? I did.
Yeah, you did the same exact thing. It was like, oh, it is a word.
Anyway, so all right. So with all that being said, right? Do y'all go to your family's Christmas gatherings?
Nah.
Dinners?
He's telling a whole lie.
The Christmas dinner?
They don't have Christmas dinners. But no, if they had like a gathering around Thanksgiving,
I would go.
We go.
Yeah, I would go to that.
Yeah, we go.
I want to see my family, man.
And you don't go on Christmas?
No,
They don't usually have.
They don't have, yeah, but if they did, I probably would go.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah, I would go for because the Prophet told us like, don't break family ties. He encouraged us to, visit our families and stuff like that.
No, I'll go. I'll see my
man, people like that, there's just they get off to the impression that Islam is just based off of rules and regulations. They don't have no mercy in the religion at all, man. Mm-hmm. It could be, and if you study the Prophet, you would see it was never like how y'all making him out to be.
What's bad about that though is because when I talk to some of my non-Muslim friends, I was talking to one of my friends couple weeks ago, and she was telling me how she was saying to her son, like, yeah, you know, what would you do? The son was saying, like, I'm just happy for you, whatever you end up doing. She said, well, what if I wanted to become a Muslim? And he was like, yeah, I'm still happy for you. She was like, really? So when she's telling me the story, like, well, why are you saying really? Like she was like, well, you know, just imagine that, because then I'd have to do this and do that. I said, why is that the first thing y'all think of all the things you either have to stop doing or you have to start doing? Like, why don't you ever look at, like, yo, man, this is what the Muslims believe. But maybe because y'all don't know what the Muslims believe. Mm-hmm. But, like, it made me think, like, damn, do we give off that much of an impression?
I think like, a lot of that stuff that they experience is our fault because the doctor was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. The impression that's given off on them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's our fault as Muslims because they outnumber us. Muslims only make up 2% of America. So for every 2 of us, it's 98 of them. Mm-hmm. So, and you know, when you're in the majority of non-Muslim country, your job is to get da'wah. And we fail at that part by doing stuff like that and excluding yourself. Yo, this guy told me, he said that, this gonna sound funny, he said at the job, right? It's hurtful too. He said at this job I used to work, right? It was like a lot of Muslims there and the non-Muslims, they worked together, right? It was like a company he worked at. He said, and then one of the Muslims that was good, he got a promotion, and everybody that was non-Muslim congratulated except the Muslims. He said the Muslims didn't celebrate his achievement. I was like, man, that's crazy.
You don't know why?
Because they don't know why. It's haram.
Yeah, celebrating is haram.
No, he got promoted, like a promotion.
Yeah, you can't celebrate. You can't celebrate nothing unless it's a 2 Eids.
Man, I ain't trying to hear that.
Yo, I never forget. Yo, let me take this story. Oh, God. Listen, right? So, bro, I was desperate, right? So, me and my first wife broke up, right? So, we got divorced, and I really didn't want to get divorced, but I was fucked up, right? So, I was looking to get remarried, like, fast, right? Like, so, this girl, friend of mine in Philly, she tried to introduce me to her girlfriend, right? Real nice sister, Sunfish shit, right? And I went all the way out to Norristown. So I drove all the way out there, and well, it wasn't like a sit down, but it was like, just come out here and meet her. Like, we gonna go on a little like supervised date, like double date thing. So we go out there, her and her intendant, and me and the girl. And so the girl, she's alright looking, right? Nice joint, right? But she was cool, and she had a son, just one kid. I'm telling you, this is thinking, right? It's crazy. So we was out at the restaurant, we just having a small talk. And she was telling me about her son. So I was like, tell me about your kids or whatever. She says, she said, yeah, my son, he's got straight A's, he does this, does that. And I said, that's dope. I said, I know you're really proud of him. And she said, oh no, I'm not proud of him. I said, what you mean? She said, that's haram. We don't, you know, in Islam, to have pride is a sin. We don't do have pride.
Couldn't,
right? So I said, that's what you mean. Like, she was like, so she's running back the hadith and stuff. And I'm like, that's not what the hadith means. Mm-hmm. So she was like, no. Pride, they said, what's the hadith about having an ounce? Allah won't accept you in the if you have even an ounce of pride in you, right? She said, so no, I don't tell my son I'm proud of him. And I said, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right. That's all I get. All right, cool. So later on, the girl introduced me to her. She's like, what you think about her? I said, she's fucking dumb as a doorknob, right? She's like, why is it? I said, yo, she told me she's not proud of her son. Like, and she's like, and I'm telling her, she was like, all she can do is put her head down. I'm like,
you know what's crazy? Because that might have a psychological effect on the child.
On the child.
Yeah, later. Thinking like that and telling them stuff like that.
The thing that killed me is like, and I'm sure Allah, like we know Allah rewards people for their intentions. So even when it's simple logic like that, I'm sure Allah knows, Allah knows the heart. Like, oh, this is my servant, and he or she is really trying to impress me. But the crazy part,
That's
like
but
it is kind of
extreme.
But here's the thing. I don't know. I've never caught up with that since. I don't know. That was years ago, like maybe 13 years. Excuse me, like 13 years ago. But a lot of times, a lot of the people that I know that was kind of extremists like that, their children come up and it's like the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Like the absolute exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the crazy part. Like, you gotta have some balance with your kids, man, because like
you gotta watch out.
Yeah. Like imagine going hard like that and then later on.
Yeah. A man came to Imam Ali, and he said, Yo Ali, you know my son hates me.
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, why is that? He said, I used to beat him. You know what Ali said? He said, well, what do you expect? You know what I mean? Like, this is what you did.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's the absolute truth, man.
Like, you think he gonna change? You did that.
Mm-hmm. And then the crazy part is like, because then after that son or the ex-wife or something, then they go on and they blame it on Islam. They leave Islam and they blame how they were treated by the person on Islam. It don't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Or like the culture, some of that stuff be culture based too.
Mm-hmm.
Like overseas, it be heavy influence of culture than it actually is the religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what we get commonly attacked about. Things that they associate with the religion.
Yo,
yeah.
I remember one time my grandma said to me, she said, you know, I wanted to ask you, I was in Walmart one day and I saw the Muslims, you know, and the wife, she had all the stuff on. She was covered all the way to her eyes, and the husband, he was walking ahead of her. Why do they make them women walk behind them like that? And I said, I have no fucking idea. What he said. I said, how you know she just don't walk slow, right? So she was like, she's like, no, he had her behind. I said, what that got to do with Islam though? Like, no, like I don't know what country these people are from you talking about, but all they know is they see
Muslims.
Muslims.
How Muslims do
it. Yeah, and you're getting oppressed. Mm-hmm. She's being oppressed because she got a niqab
on, and she behind him.
But that could be, that same thing could be applied to a nun. You know what I mean? Except without the face veil. But they do the same, they dress the same.
But nah, they don't got husbands.
I mean, if you're going to categorize oppression with clothing, then we could say that.
The nun made the choice to dress like that. And the Muslim women, we don't get.
Yeah, y'all oppressed and pressured into women.
Some women are.
That's how they think, though. No, some are, but that's how they think. Like we don't get a choice in how we do things. You know?
I don't respect that. Like, I never respected Jews that like they marry non-Muslims and then as soon as the girl take a shahada, it's like he put the schema on and put this on. Like it's like, yeah, what you she wasn't wearing it her whole life.
A lot of jokers in prison do that.
To me, it's very disrespectful because at the end of the day, like the woman you married is the woman that you got. You know what I mean? So like she's got to choose this thing.
Yeah.
Same thing with your children. You can raise Muslim children all day long if you want, but they still have to choose again.
Yeah.
Like it's not, you know, like even people like, oh, well, you know, that's embarrassing. You know, the imam's son is. It's like, yo, like. Yeah, what can you do? Like,
I don't think people see it like that. See, they take that more of a higher standard. Like that's the imam's son. What was he teaching his child? And blah blah blah. They start popping up in the mind of the person.
They could have been teaching him everything right. And they don't want to do it.
Yeah. And they have that right because you know the ayah is that ikrah fi din. There's no compulsion in Islam. You can't make no. Remember, I don't think you know the story when that ayah was revealed. When they was in Medina, and the Jewish people was being separated from the Muslim, and he wanted to stay. He wanted to go with his Jewish parents, and I can't remember the Sahaba.
Was it a boy or a man?
No, it was a young man, right? It was involving a young man and his family. I think the father accepted Islam, and he wanted to take the father. The father wanted to take the son with him over to Islam, but he still was Jewish with his mom. Mm-hmm. And it was like a tug of war thing. And that ayah came out like, La ikraha fi din. Like, if he want to go, just let him go. You can't make him come to Islam. He's at the age of reason. He could choose.
Not strange times, man.
A lot of this stuff come from not reading and not having teachers.
It all is come from not having teachers. Like you need a teacher to explain this stuff to you. You can't.
And I believe a lot of our problems come from not reading the seer, not knowing the seer, just reading rules and regulation books all that.
So what's the best seer? Seal nectar.
That's what people say. I don't think so. Nah, I don't think that's the best one.
What's the best one?
The best one is that one you sent me. And I downloaded it on PDF.
What, the Revelation one?
Yeah, that one. That one's good. That's probably the best one I've read so far. And Muhammad Ibn Ishaq book, which is Sierra of the Prophet or something, because that's a classical one. Yeah.
Everybody was saying that Revelation book is older than accuracy. It's not the issues they had with it wasn't in the story, it was in the commentary. But that's people commentary. Like that's their opinion on what
the thing about like tafsirs and commentary is that the only book Allah Ta'ala made perfect was the Quran. There won't be no other book other than the Quran that will be without imperfections. So we gotta expect that. Even for scholars make mistakes all the time. But we don't overlook that. We'll take that little one part and make it bigger than what it is. And we don't even have a good opinion. We're like, well, maybe he made a mistake right here. We'll just be like, nah, this scholar is wrong because he said that. All the things he said is right. There's one little mistake, we blow it up. That's what they do on YouTube with the sound bites and stuff like that. That's so wrong, man. I'm like, that stuff is wrong. But all right, man.
You done?
Yeah.
I never imagined that.
What? Because I'm like, what?
You do look tired.
I am tired, but
I'm
that's
tired
not
too.
because of that.
You be like,
I'm tired because I'm.
but she give that look like, look, bro.
No, I'm not looking at the clock like that. This is
Like, all right, now let's go, bro.
But so to wrap it up, then, so no Christmas trees and no Christmas dinner for you.
They don't know,
No
man.
trunk or treat. No turkey.
They got for
What do y'all do on Christmas?
nothing.
No, I don't mean like for Christmas. Like
Christmas
everything's closed. What do? You just play games in the crib?
Yeah.
She
What else you gonna do?
get off. I don't get off.
Oh, you still gotta work?
Yeah, I got work on the holiday.
Why?
Because he has to order.
That's how it is,
You gotta
man.
clean the city still.
Yeah.
All that wrapping paper.
It don't be dirty, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Because ain't
The
nobody out.
holidays,
Because they in the
holidays will
house.
never be dirty. That's probably the best day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, I don't. I used to sometimes I would come at work. Now I don't do that. I charge more if people want me to come in.
That makes sense. I can understand that because it's a holiday.
Yeah.
So you don't work on holiday.
No, what I do now, I take my appointment and I raise the price for that one day. And like this year, I got it at $80. So if you want me to come in, I'll come in. You gotta pay first. $85, and I'm here. No problem. You can set it up, but you gotta prepay.